a good shot.
George Jefferson walk.
Come back here, Mr. Jefferson.
Hey, we got the clear to close from,
21st. Hooper.
from, Amy, from HUD. But I don't have it
You don't have any
from
viewers.
the amount, don't order.
Are we on yet?
Is this what you
Are
want?
we on?
Well, good come through.
Is this what you want?
Oh,
Okay,
just the
that's-
water. Just the water. Thank
Ooh,
you. I
look at that
appreciate it.
big old
Thank
bucket
you.
over there looking. God, I love that bucket. The hashtag that bucket. There you go. Hey, you're on live. You know, hey, have you hit the like? Have you shared? Kathleen has shared. What about you, Mr. Zabis?
Joe, cut the hair down.
Yeah, it's hot in here, man. It is hot. Belinda, I see you on here, girl. Thank you for getting on here.
Derek Godwin is on.
Derek
right?
Godwin. I didn't call you Derek Godwin. I didn't talk to you, I feel like. Chris Oatmeal, what's shaking, man?
Hey, Chris. Derek.
I appreciate everybody jumping on. We're going to talk about something, but before we get started, Weatherman is roaming around the building. Who do I have with me?
Ginger vodka.
Well, we need to give a big shout out to Shawan.
Shout what we will.
Yes.
Hey, you want to come in here and give your wife a shout out, man? Come shout it out. Shout with love.
What are you gonna shout out?
He's got an announcement to make.
No, we don't want to make. We're gonna make it.
Oh, that Ronnie Martin on?
Oh.
Ronnie Martin for
Oh, not
second.
for now.
But hey, let's go ahead and let her. You got something to say?
I want to give a shout out to my wife, Jaywan Weathers.
Get down, get down, get down.
Oh, come in there.
There you go.
Jaywan Weathers passed her real estate exam. If anybody knows that stuff is tough, so hey, I will be working for her. So congratulations, Jaywan.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
That is awesome. So before we get started, Weatherman is not on set with us today. We've got.
Ginger Spice.
Tell us something nice. Tell us something
Happy
nice.
Wednesday, everyone. Yes.
So tell everybody, a lot of people may not know you. Who is you?
Well, I'm Ginger, and I am the Director of Client Engagements here at GTT Homes.
What's your intentions?
My intentions is, I think,
spot.
yes, yes, to take AKA Weatherman spot. No. We believe that when you know, like, and trust someone, you make a better decision.
Woo!
Ooh, that's
Yes.
Who taught us that? Who taught us our EOS?
You and Thomas Love and Michael Burke.
Coach Burr, hey, Lex Jennings on here. So today, we're going to get started. Kathleen, the machinist, told me I got to keep these shorter because I love to get up here and talk, and everybody gets tired of me talking much longer than 20 to 22 minutes. So today, I do want to give a huge shout out to Mr. AKA Roy Frazier, the Trout Magnet. He is our preferred insurance partner. Whenever we got somebody, we always highly, highly recommend call up Roy. And I think we got his information somewhere, but Roy's with Farm Bureau, and we feel like he is the best. He is the goodest in what he does. So Roy,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for giving us so much attention, our clients, making everybody feel great. As you can see, the weatherman is looking out in the parking lot. He looks like a little Rottweiler. He looks like a Rottweiler looking out the door for his parents to get home.
One of them car salesmen.
Oh, he's looking out the blind, y'all. He's looking at the
he's
blind in the
looking.
parking lot.
Yeah.
When his client.
So we're going to get right down to it. Kathleen, me, Weatherman, there's a few other people. Everybody in the audience say hi.
Ah,
All right.
See, we're full today. Here's something I've talked about before, but over time we forget things. People probably, when I said this, maybe they weren't thinking about selling their home. Maybe they're new up in this real estate game. Maybe they don't even know. But today, what I'm talking about is why you should never, ever, ever let a buyer move into your house until they pay for it, until they ink up with the cash money. Have you ever done a deal where you thought, hey, let them go ahead and get in here early, man? Let me help my client get in here early. Have you ever done that?
No.
Have you ever had a client say, hey, see if you can get us in there early?
Well, I did have a client want to put like a stuff on there and in there, in like a mailbox, and before closing. Like, nope.
Hey, what about before it funds? Two
Before
different
funds,
times.
I think
Oh,
you're
yeah,
okay with that. That's a good question,
That
Weatherman.
is a good
Is that cousin Charlie or is that somebody?
He's here in spirit.
Cousin Charlie said, hey, cousin
It's a
Charlie
show.
wouldn't say something that cool. Cash those Benjamins before you hand over the keys. Well, see, I think a lot of people, whenever they're going through this process and when they're buying a home, they have nowhere to go at times and they're freaking out and they feel like, hey, let me move in, give me them keys. But there's a lot of things that can happen that they're unaware of. Their agent may be unaware of. The sellers could even be unaware. So I'm going to go through some reasons of just food for thought about, hey, this way you don't need to do this. This is why it's not a good idea. But I think a lot of times sellers may go into a little bit of a panic, like, well, what if I don't let them move in? Will they still buy the house? Let's appease them. Let's accommodate them. Let's give them what they want. But later they don't know, hey, we're in for trouble. Before I get started with this, please like, please comment, share the stream out, share the love. We owe somebody an Alley on Main gift card. But if you share this stream, I'm going to pick one person. Me and Kathleen will come back and pick that one person. You get a free lunch at the Alley on Main, $25 value. Have you shared back there?
I can. Oh, you gotta share.
Let us share. We got a new girl. We got somebody in the background that does not want to be known for being here. Okay, well, let's talk about legal / insurance and repair issues.
That sounds like a lot of fun stuff.
Weatherman, how many times? Oh, hey, Roy Frazier. He's commenting. We're talking about you, our sponsor today, Roy. Want you to know we love you. Sometimes it can void your homeowner's insurance if you let someone move in. Check with your agent. Man, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Either.
Because they're not insured on the policy. What if they move in the house, get some fire
Really?
before it's done?
Yeah, that's good information.
Yeah, what
Actually,
if
good.
somebody
Very good,
moves in, they live in there, and they let somebody come in?
They're a renter at that point.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hey, Lex Jennings, what's up, friend? Did you share the stream? So, what if a buyer can't close and the prospect did work on the house and didn't pay for things? Think about that. So, we've let somebody come in, okay? We've let them move in. Here's something you've got to understand. Just because you feel like there's absolutely no way this home will fall apart due to financing, there's a lot of times that it still does, because the final underwriter happens to look at this file at the very end.
Yeah.
They're not looking at things until the very end. They've collected all this data, then it goes through. It's like when you go to the airport, they make you put all your stuff in there and you go through there, and then they find, what do we have here? Ginger Spice, you got 2 grams of cocaine. You're not getting on this plane. You've got a handgun. You can't get on this. You can't get on this plane, girl. Let's call the police on you. But that's where they catch a lot of the problems. There's things that have popped up like, hey, we had to re-pull their credits. The credit has dropped 40 points. What if it was wrong? What if it was a dispute? What if somebody stole your identity?
What if they went out and bought
Well,
brand new
yes,
furniture?
that's what it, yeah, or a
Washer
car or
and dryer.
something.
What if
yeah.
they just did something stupid that they didn't know about? What if the title company was doing something and they found out there was maybe one of the buyers had child support liens, or just so Ginger's moved into my house, lost their job. Belinda Andrew, Iberia Banks, had lost their job. I bet Belinda's had to deal with this before. These people have moved in there. They think everything is good. Bam, something happens. Something unforeseen happens. So during the meantime, Ginger says, look, we good. Me and Dave.
Yeah, we're good.
Nothing's going to
we're
happen to
good.
us. Let's
Yeah.
bring these painters in here. And they paint, okay? And then you get kicked out of or you can't buy the house. The painter doesn't get paid. Who's he going to file that mechanic's lien on?
The one that owns the house. But think about this too. When you let somebody move in a house, you become a landlord and not a seller at that point. And there's people have renters' rights and have rights that you just ain't like you can make them get out. Even though you have something in an addendum, that really doesn't make sure that you can get them out 24 hours.
You would have to go through an eviction process.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if Scott Abernathy
That's
was on here, he could tell us that it could take months to get them out. and you think they're gonna pay? Would you pay Stevie? Be honest. If I was kicking you out, you couldn't buy.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
kick
that's,
me out, I ain't paying nothing.
There
Yeah, so I
you
gotta go 30, 60, 90 days. Are you?
What are you
Hey,
taking when you kick him out?
hey, are you leaving it nice and neat on the inside, or are you damaging
You mean
anything?
when I leave with my bed and hit the wall
Yeah.
and accidentally kick it when I'm walking very out for the last? I don't think you'll leave in too good shape. Sorry, T.
You did your best. You did your best. I didn't mean to do that. It ain't my fault.
Yeah, it ain't my fault.
It ain't my fault.
It wasn't me.
So you got to be very careful if a lien could somehow be filed on the property. What if, here's something else. What if Ginger and Dave had somebody come over and they did work and they got hurt on the job, and Ginger and Dave didn't do any research to see if this person had insurance. They came in over there, did some work, they fell, they got hurt, now we got to pay for surgery. I'm giving you all these things because they have happened. These things, new girl back there in the back, these things have happened. These things could happen. We got J.R. Eastman on here, Belinda Ander, two very knowledgeable lenders in our area. The bottom line is there is zero benefit to the seller allowing an early move-in. 100% of the benefit is to the buyer. That could not be said any gooder, J.R. Eastman. You are so correct, unless there is somehow you're just trying to save the deal because you're scared. They moving on. Moving on. Have you ever moved on? Have you ever made a commitment and moved on? Belinda Ander, or what if they move in and they decide they don't like the house location, etc.? That's another thing. What if they get in there and they said, you know what, we don't like this.
right.
We thought this, we thought that, now we don't like it. Now we got buyer's remorse. We ain't got buyer's remorse because we ain't paid for nothing yet. We just don't like this. What if something pops up that was unforeseen and they change their mind? So here's where it gets really dangerous, and all my lenders can say this. These deals, financing wise, you just never know what's going to happen until, what's that famous word we like to hear? Clear to close. That means we are completely done on the financing. We are done. It's been cleared to close. We're ready to stroke you a check, Stevie Z. So, so there's so many potential problems that could go between, hey, we're good, we're just going to send this to underwriting, we'll be good. Takes maybe 3 days to get through all that stuff.
What can happen during those 3 days?
There's so many things that we don't know. There's so many particular, like Belinda said, what if they lost their job? What if they went out and they bought furniture a few months ago? They pull the credit at the very end again when they go through final underwriting. What if they bought something, didn't tell nobody, and their credit went down from 671 all the way down to 608, and they no longer qualified? What happens if a legal dispute were to happen between you're the buyer, and me, the seller? And you're like, you know what, I ain't buying, like Steven said, a great point is you're a renter now. And what if you've got these rental rights that are helping you, and you're saying, I'm not buying this house until this problem, or whatever problem comes up. We're in a legal dispute now, and we can't get this problem resolved when you bring the legal system in. What if it took 6 months and the house is just tied up in court? Are you paying me?
No, not whenever.
Well, why are you not paying
I'm
me?
paying you.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing. What's up, Scott Lumley? J.R. Eastman, you're back on here. If you don't ask, you don't know. I don't know what you're asking, Lex. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What if the new potential buyer brings a repair person over and they do work without insurance? See, a lot of these things we just don't think about. Most of the time we think this, we'll be able to close on our loan within 7 days. Within 10 days, you're not living in here, we'll pay you, they'll want a prorated amount. And that's really all they're willing to risk to get inside your home. And who knows what could potentially go wrong there. But like Roy Frazier, Farm Bureau insurer, said, whenever you let somebody take the possession of your home, there's a good chance it ain't insured anymore. So what if they get in there and they do something and something bad happens? What happened if you and Dave were drunk one night and he was smoking a cigar, and he fell asleep, and it burned half the house down.
Oh no.
See, there's
so
just-
now it's not insured.
What would happen if somebody, like if you said, let's just let us put our stuff in the garage, please, 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 you turn into like a 5-year-old, and you keep asking me, I'm like, okay, I'll let you just put that stuff in the garage, and somebody comes and they steal it all. Who's legal for that?
That's a good question.
I mean, these are just things that the only way you can avoid these is just by simply saying this. What is the hardest thing for me to say around here, Lisa?
No.
Why do I have such a hard time saying that?
I don't know, but you need to learn that word.
That is such a hard word for most salespeople to say. No. Can you say no easy?
No.
Can you, Stevie? See, here's a secret, okay? No is a complete sentence. Too often people make the sentence longer than it needs to be. So they say no, and then they start explaining things. So the more you explain after no, after the complete sentence, you're starting to negotiate, and you don't even realize it. Hunter McDonald, look, here's the deal. We like you, but ain't nobody moving up in here unless the ink is dry. I like that, Hunter. That's exactly right. But see, I think a lot of times builders can pretty much hold firm, but it's the agents. The agents, they start feeling, man, I need to help my guy, my girl. They ain't got nowhere to go. Man, they've done everything. They're good people. They good people. Their loan's gonna close. We'll give you $1,000. We'll pay for the rent. We'll pay for the utilities. And we're just assuming that everything will go the way it should go. But what happens when it don't? What happens if there's a water leak and you've got something inside this house that's so important and it leaks on your stuff and it was priceless? See, there's just absolutely, J.R. Eastman, you said it the best. It's really, there's nothing that the seller can win by allowing somebody to move in.
Or even on the closing day, though. Even on the closing day, because this is what happened in a case. They actually had
In a
the
case?
Yes, they.
Yeah,
The transaction. No, they put a pod in blocking the driveway, and the people, the new owners did. So, and the original owners had to get stuff out of their backyard, and they could not because this big pod they moved in. They put it there before they closed. Couldn't get the rest of their stuff out.
Hey, I'm sorry. Cousin
that
Charlie.
crazy?
Cousin
Oh,
Charlie's
hey.
here. He's distracted. Cousin Charlie, you've been in the business 1 year. Have you had any deals where you're representing a buyer and they have asked to move in early before closing?
Hang on, a buyer is like somebody that purchases a home and then they move in.
Okay.
Okay, all right, go ahead with the question.
Have you had to experience that?
Yes, I have.
How did it make you feel?
Put you in a bad spot.
Why?
Well, I know if I was on the other side, it's something I would be. I would say no, we're not going to do this.
Mhm.
But then when I'm representing the buyer, I'm like, hey, let's see what we can do to help my people move in.
That's
Oh,
exactly
so
what
he's
do you not
wise.
want to what do you not want to tell your buyer?
What do I not want to tell them?
You can't move in.
Yeah, don't want to tell them no.
That's exactly right. We don't want to tell people no because of how it makes us feel. And that is such a wrong perception. It's the wrong mentality to have. The best thing you can do is say, look, Ginger, I know you and Dave ready to get in here, have fun, but we can't do that. Unfortunately, there's laws, there's insurances, there's just things that prevent you. It would be a very bad decision for you to do this. See, I'm giving up.
We have a
Oh, I'm
question in the
sorry.
back from-
Sorry, the pretty man in the back.
Right, so what happens if I just want to put my stuff in the garage?
Mhm.
I just want to move my stuff in the garage, that way I have somewhere to put it. Can I do that?
No.
If you
You
had
don't have
say,
a problem saying
Call
no.
Lisa and see if she can do it for you, and then I'll say no.
So I think the same thing goes into play. If your property is in somebody's house, what if there's something sparks and creates a fire? So there's probably no difference in your stuff being in the house or you being in the house. Another insurance guy, Roy, could probably answer that. So it's probably best that until it closes and both sides are signed and the docs are swapped. So people need to understand that the deal is not complete until the docs are swapped.
Or is it until they get money?
Well, I mean, the funding is, I mean, once the dogs are swapped, it doesn't really matter, because you got a signed off contract.
No, we do have clarification from J.R. Eastman. I do not know if he is 100% right, but it damn sure sounds good what he's saying.
Sound good.
He said allowing stuff in the garage is the same thing as allowing buyers to occupy the property legally.
Once you have your, it was explained to me, you have your property on their property, then you have legal rights to it if it's there like 2 weeks or a certain amount of time. And then you've got to, if you're the owner, you've got to evict the person. I can't go take their stuff out of the garage and just throw it out. So then I've got to go through a legal process to get rid of somebody if I let them in.
See, me and Spisa, we just go to jail, we're gonna get it out.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Go like OJ. Like OJ went to get his trophy back from that night. So, what if you got that stuff in the garage, it's a vacant house, and I look through the window and I'm a burglar, and I knock a door down, or I knock a wall, I do something to get in there and get that stuff.
Right.
Now who's liable? Who's gonna be sued? Now I gotta fix things.
Well, the main thing we gotta realize is that's why it's so important, in my opinion, to try to close at the same title company if it's a rush situation. Everybody's loyal to your title company, but, the key, so here's the big thing now, everybody's busy, everybody's gone, so what does every agent tell you at the walkthrough?
It's all gonna be done, everything's perfect.
They take the key with you. Take the key with you, so that way you'll have it closing, because we're closing.
Is that the wrong thing to do?
Yeah,
Would we do
absolutely.
that?
Thing to do. Probably.
Probably.
But, I mean, you know.
Because we're people pleasers.
Well, we just don't
Shiny.
have to drive all the way back over there and swap keys out.
We're lazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're
we'll be
lazy.
truthful about it. So now what happens is you got somebody has a key to your place. They think because they close at 9 o'clock in the morning, it's my house. The other side's not closing at 4:30, and it's a Friday afternoon. Well, guess what? They may not swap docs till later on. They may not get funded on Monday. So, you know, sometimes as agents, we don't think that far ahead to prevent those things. That's why we close on Wednesdays.
Because probably 80% of the time what we're talking about will never happen. But it's your reputation, it's your career,
Yeah.
it's a career killer if you let some of these things happen. Imagine if something like that happened, which it could easily if I'm being sloppy, if I'm being lazy, if I'm doing those things, and it gets out on a review, well, GoodTimeTommy let me down.
Yeah.
Oh, Ginger Spice was cracked up one night and she forgot to get this done. I'm kidding. She's not doing
The
that.
only reason that I know is
She's not doing that, I'm kidding.
there's nothing worse than having a buyer put down $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 and excited about moving in, and all of a sudden it's Friday, said, look, the builder won't release the key. And there are some builders out there, until it's funded, they won't give you the keys until, and the only reason I know is because I learned the hard way.
I have too. One time I had this
You don't
guy,
use
and I was newer in the business, and it was easy for him to probably muscle me around mentally,
Yeah.
you know, because I didn't know things to really say back to him, and they closed on Friday, late Friday, because they wanted to, hey, we're gonna close on our time.
Yeah.
So they came in there late. They did not, the money didn't change hands because it was after the wire.
2 o'clock, I think.
The builder said, well, hey, I ain't giving you the keys.
That's right.
And he didn't do it. And man, that guy, he was yelling, but at that time I was taking like he was yelling at me.
Yeah,
And he was really yelling about the situation. He was upset with the builder, but I felt responsible.
yeah.
So I think most agents, and there's a lot of agents back here. I'm counting 30, 40 of you back there in the background. Whenever you're in these situations and your buyer they're making you feel like, hey, I want to get in here. I don't have anywhere to go. This would help me so much. This would be so much more convenient. The best thing you can do is say, hey, they will not let you do that. Here's the reason why. It will really what you're doing is forfeiting your, like Roy said, I'm going to steal that from you, Roy Frazier. You're really forfeiting your insurance coverage when that happens. I wonder if somebody moved in there, Roy, I doubt you're still with us.
What if they got hurt?
What if you moved stuff in there and like one of these storms came through and it damaged the house? Did I lose coverage of the?
He is on messaging, so
I
he
want-
says that the current owners would not be liable, and law states tenants are responsible for their own coverage.
Which means it's like a renter's policy, so anything that's damaged of your own, you lose it, because you don't have a renter's policy set up. So the house probably would be covered by the
The owner's policy.
The owner's policy. Yeah, but now, if you don't tell your insurance agent, and Roy might answer this, if the insurance agent don't know that you're a landlord, it could hurt your policy.
That's what I'm saying. If they don't know that, they move in, and what if a storm were to come and it damages your roof, and they were to find out, oh, well, you let these people come in, would it give them an opt-out clause to not fund your claim?
I don't know, it's kind of like if it's a natural disaster or something like that, it may have some ramifications, but if they caught the house on fire, probably a totally different story.
So here's like Hunter and JR have pretty much been saying, you're not gaining anything as the seller. You're not gaining anything at all. You're really giving the buyer unlimited leverage here.
Oh, he did say you could void coverage of any kind.
Woo!
And what Ginger was probably thinking about saying right now is, a lot of times, it's great to have a great closing transaction coordinator, because she'll try to line up the closing simultaneously, whether they're different places or not, so that there's no, the funding's there, everybody knows both sides closed, and then you can breathe.
And because our closing coordinator's not chicken like me and you, weatherman,
That's right.
she'll stand up and tell them, no, you can't do
Absolutely.
that. No, no, absolutely not. I'm sitting there with, here's what I'm probably gonna always, let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do for you.
I know that, old boy.
So hey, everybody, if you're selling your home, or if you're going through this process, do not, I repeat, do not let somebody move in there unless they're giving you so much money, non-refundable, you can't say no, and there's still a chance he could come back to get you. Ginger Spice, I didn't let you talk much today, did I? I've been out of town. I gotta get all my talking in. What would you like to say? Since you've been up here, is there anything you wanted to say I wouldn't let you?
No, but definitely don't let anybody move in before it actually funds and closes.
Good job. Stevie, would you mind coming up here?
There is something else she wanted to say. She's about to say this too. Bo, Ronnie, Mark.
Oh,
Yes,
Bo, Ron
Bo,
Martin, and go
Ronnie
see my girl
Martin.
Brittany Renee
Yes.
at the Exchange.
Yes,
How
get a
often
Murfreesboro
how often
shirt.
do you go to the Exchange?
A lot, yeah. I get a lot of the Murfreesboro shirts.
And does anybody want one of those coolers over there? Those are nice. Those are real. Stevie, sir, would you mind shutting us down? Everybody, please like, please comment, please share the stream. We're going to come back. We're going to find one person. We're going to feed you. Thank you, Stevie Z. You're the greatest. You're the greatest. Stevie, do you know what you're doing?
Oh, I think we're still live.
We are still out.
Is that my phone ringing? That's a lead. Hey, Sparkles.
Stevie. Is it that hard to do?